welcome at Watches TV, welcome at the Watches Club, and we are here with Baudouin Van Es from Tourbillon Watch, and we're going to do a little debrief and recap of what just happened at the GPHG ceremony, talking obviously of all the different winners per category, and have our little views on it, of course. And we'll also have a few interviews of some of the winners that we managed to do the proper interview on stage directly after the award. So let's not waste any time. Let's start immediately, and we'll go with the order of the categories as they were announced through the ceremony. And the first category is Ladies Watch. And the winner in that category was the Parmigiani Fleurier Tonda PF Automatic, 37mm, very beautiful watch.
Yes, exactly. And what I love, so that's new DNA. This new design is way more interesting regarding what PF have done for the past. Mm-hmm. It's cleaner.
Yeah, and it definitely has a very sharp identity, looks really nice on all the different models. I was personally a little bit surprised that they won.
Exactly.
But I mean, I'm very happy for them.
What was your choice?
Well, I was going for the Arnold & Son. I really like that one. I like this beautiful ruthenium moon. I always find it quite fascinating.
Yeah, if I had to make a choice regarding that category, it would be between the Arnold & Son one and the Constantin check-in. Mm-hmm. That's my love for independence.
Yeah, well, I mean, for Constantin, I obviously wished, because I mean, it's a different parti prix, it's something a little bit different, and we love Constantin. It would have been fun that he would have won. I thought, politically speaking, maybe the Chopard could have won, but all good for Parmigiani Fleurier. So let's continue, still with ladies, but ladies complication this time. And among the nominated watch, we had Chaumet, Audemars Piguet, Anderson, Geneva with a very nice world timer, but also Chopard, Hermès, and Van Cleef & Arpels. And the winner was Hermès, and that was also a little bit of a surprise, I have to say. I didn't expect that one. I'm not sure Hermès people also expected that, but that's a different matter. And I mean, I thought the Van Cleef & Arpels was the clear winner there. But I mean, this watch will get another award, and we'll come back to this a little bit sooner, a little bit later, I mean. So the Hermès, the good news is that actually just a few days prior to the GPHG, we actually went to shoot at Chronode, where Jean-François Mojon and his team have worked on the actual module. We also went to film at Hermès, so we'll have very shortly a very special report on this one, and I say special because they want something else. So yeah,
that's nice.
That's right.
That's pretty nice.
Yes. Congrats. So for you, which one did you prefer?
It was the same as you. I was surprised when they announced Hermès. I was surprised but happy for them. I don't know if it's the first prize, but I don't know.
No, it's not. No.
It's a good signal for Hermès and for the industry, saying okay, there is also other people. We are used to see some traditional brand that win award every year.
Yeah.
So, but my favorite, it would be between the Anderson Genève.
Yeah.
And the Chaumet one.
Chaumet, yeah, but that was a very interesting design for sure.
In terms of design and what is really happening on the dial. So
that's true. That's true. But yeah, this Hermès piece is very practical, it's very handy, it's different. They have a way of doing things with a bit of poetry inside, and it's, I mean, Hermès are really...
it's a watch who is really easy to use.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because for a world timer, sometimes it could be like a headache to set it. So congrats to Chronode and congrats to Hermès.
Absolutely. So now we go in the men's category, next category, with again 6 watches. Again, Parmigiani Fleurier, beautiful. I mean, like we said before. Exactly. Bulgari with the Skeleton 8 days that was introduced during the Genève Watch Days, for which we had done a little report on it. Sylvain Pinault, great watchmaker, great guy, and I mean his piece is absolutely gorgeous. The Trilobe, the new version of the Trilobe, which is really fun, which is really cool. I really like it too. Yeah. And the Zenith, the special one, the chronometry observatory, I would say, the timepiece. But the winner was Recep Recepi, or Acrivia, with the Chronomètre Contemporain 2. Not a huge surprise there, absolutely gorgeous piece. Red Chef actually had one with his prior version of this piece in the same category, like I believe it was 4 years ago. So this is the evolved version, and it's just a stunning watch.
But when Red Chef is somewhere, everyone knows it, and he always wins something. I discovered it when I came for the first time for the auction only watch. Mm-hmm. It was the first one to start.
Yeah, alphabetically sorted.
Yeah, and I was not ready.
Yeah.
So we started with maybe 200,000 euros or Swiss franc, and it's just like
kept
a skyrocket.
Rising. Yeah. The one, I believe, if I recall well, ended up at like at 360, and that was like kind of a very strong signal on the desirability of Acrivia's watches, and especially this Chronomètre Contemporain 2. So yeah, no, absolutely gorgeous piece, and we love our neighbors because they're just like 50 meters down the road.
Exactly.
So it's kind of stays in the family type of thing.
I'm feeling good, you know. So it was my second time, by the way, because in 2018 we win for men's Grand Prix, and this one is my second. It's a pleasure, you know, because I realize that people understand what we're doing and we're trying to do, and for sure it's hard work. But I'm finally happy. And again, what I said before, you know, it was a dream for me. Some years ago, you know, 10 years ago, I was here with my Proto, and I really dreamed about one day having something. So it became a reality, and it's just giving big motivation for the future, you know. Now I think for the future we have really to plan, but we have many things will come. So next year, be prepared for many other things. When you think about a product today, you dreamed about it, and you start and you're drawing, and it's your own philosophy. So this is what is beauty, I think. Doesn't mean it's perfect, but has some soul, and it's really important.
Let's move on to the next category with the men's complication. Absolutely. Again, 6 nominated watches. And the big surprise was that Hermès won again. So that's
why same complication, a bit wider.
Yeah.
But they won. Okay, why not?
And I mean, something that needs to be pointed out is that, okay, it's in the men's category, women's category, but Hermès, they don't conceive their watches for men and women. Actually, it's 2 different sizes because it's exactly the same watch. Both watches could be worn by a man or a woman, I think.
Exactly.
You know, it's, so again, we'll come back on this one in a new episode to come on Watches TV.
And in that category,
yes,
which one was your favorite?
I like the Armin-Strom because I think with this new piece, they got something, I would say, different and brighter, I would say, in terms of design identity. I think it has something a little bit sharper, and which I really like. I thought the complication. Basically, I mean, you can set the date with the pusher, and it's kind of a flyback mechanism where you can hide the date or show it on the proper date, and it's simple, easy, complicated to do, of course. But I thought that one was pretty nice. Again, I really like the Parmigiani Fleurier because I think this GMT is a smart complication. Out of all the complications, there are many that I find absolutely gorgeous, mechanically speaking, or I mean, they're very inspiring. But are they so useful? You know, that's a different question. With the GMT, obviously, it's something. If you travel a little bit, it's obviously very, nice to have. But this one has a little subtle touch to it because I mean, you can hide the second time zone behind the hour hand. So it looks like just a regular two-hander, and then you can activate basically. Okay, and then set this thing. And the thing that is quite funny, so you have a pusher on the crown that enables you to hide or not hide this second time zone, and it doesn't go back in the same way to hide itself behind our hand. It depends on where it stands. It will take the shortest path possible to go and hide. But I mean, again, hats off to Hermès to have pulled this off because I mean, I guess they were rather surprised by having those two prizes there.
2 prizes for one watch.
Yeah.
That's for one development.
For one development. Yeah, that was a good deal indeed. Yeah, that was a very, very good deal.
But for me, it would be I was going for the Singer Imagine.
Yeah.
For me, it's the only complication that you can really use on a daily basis, because we are all drinking coffee, and that complication helps you to create the perfect coffee. So, in a certain way, and I love what Marco is doing, etc. The design is great, the piece is great, very easy to handle, and you have something to play with.
Yeah.
Because a GMT, if you don't move, but when I'm coming to La Vallée to here, there is no second time zone.
Not yet.
When I'm going to Paris from Geneva, no time zone.
Yeah, the next category is one that, talking with our fellow journalist friends and others, people don't really, I mean, it's always a kind of a questionable category, this iconic. It feels like it's really done just to please some people, but that's the way it is. If the jury had been maybe a little bit bolder, they could have gone with the Girard-Perregaux casquette, but I guess to award a non-mechanical timepiece is still a little bit...
The GPHG,
Grand
Prix de Haute Horlogerie.
Exactly, it would have been a little bit complicated, but apart from that, I find it really, really cool. So the winner in that category was the Tag Heuer with Monaco Golf. I mean, obviously quite iconic piece.
It's iconic, yeah.
And I mean, it's one that will, I mean, they will stay in their inventory for the next, I mean, forever. I mean, it's really, it's part of the, it's part of Tag Heuer, basically. So cool watch, happy for them. But that's the way it is. Okay, so next category, we fall in the Tourbillon category. So we're upping our game a little bit here. The award went to H. Moser for, I mean, I really love this piece. Was introduced at Watches and Wonder this year.
Are you a skeleton guy?
Not too much. Sometimes I find it makes it a little bit heavier than what it's supposed to do. You know, but I obviously appreciate the craft that is behind. That's for sure, because it's not so easy to do. But there they interpreted it in a kind of in a different way. It's
very symmetric,
modern at the same time, and to display indeed what is happening in terms of its mechanic is really nice, because it really highlights beautifully this cylindrical tourbillon. And one has to say also that in terms of public price, this is probably the cheapest of the lot, and by far, you know. And I found that pretty cool that indeed the jury awarded that, not taking into consideration the prestige or the price range in their choice. So really nice choice.
It's always an honor. This time a little bit of a surprise. When we looked at the list of the competitive watches, we thought it's going to be a tough one. But yeah, you never know. You know, the jury I think was really interested in how we developed this cylindrical hairspring, which is quite difficult, and the skeleton, the geometry of the watch, something new for Moser, and I think we're going to continue working on it. There's always something to improve. I think there's no perfection, so it's dangerous to try to reach perfection. That can be very dangerous for a brand. But I think we have tons of ideas. There's tons of things we can do, maybe not better, but different. And innovation, creativity is what we love. I think as an industry, we've talked about it today, and I think there's tons of things in the pipeline for Moser, and yeah, you'll be surprised.
But I mean, we still have a few things to say about this category, considering the Grand Seiko timepiece there, because this one is absolutely.
It's another nice skeleton.
It's a stunning watch, and I mean the way the mechanics here are highlighted is, I mean, you can look at it for a long time. So it's a tourbillon, constant force escapement. It's really quite something, but we'll get back on this piece because it actually did win something later on. Then we have Theo Fret, again, good guy, and I mean, basically doing a few watches per year in his little workshop, competing against some heavy players.
But sometimes, you know, you can beat them in a certain way. Yeah. So I was, when it came to that to that part of the GPHG, I was wondering, okay, I hope Theo will win something, and because it's such a nice guy, the craftsmanship behind this watch is just pure watchmaking.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very pure to the essence of.
But that's completely mind-blowing. I love what he's doing. Congrats to Moser. And I have to add something. If you had the opportunity to handle a Caesar watch, pay attention on the work of the work they've done on the box, because when you try it on your wrist, it fits perfectly, and in a certain way, the watch do not feel too light, because sometimes when you handle those pieces, they can be too heavy. Say, okay, I have to pay attention because if I drop it, I will destroy the floor and the watch too, and or it's too light and you don't see or feel the value behind it.
So a good balance there.
Yes, exactly.
A good balance. Good. So let's move on with the calendar and astronomy category, and this one went to Crayon for the Anywhere timepiece. Crayon had won, if I recall well, Revelation Prize, kind of a special prize attributed by the jury. So he won with this. This piece is absolutely stunning. I mean, when you think about the complexity of what's inside, meaning that it shows the sunrise and sunsets at any given day during the year, depending on the chosen location, and then you can adjust this location depending, obviously, of where you are. But ultimately, if this watch was running constantly, it will indeed indicate those two informations correctly and adjust with a system of a shutter system every day. I mean, it's just a stunning piece. It's quite small. It's very elegant,
and the design is simple.
Because
when I saw that watch, I was wondering, okay, what is really happening? And when you look at it very quickly, say, okay, 2 hands, maybe, okay, there's a date at 6 o'clock, okay, so, maybe there is something happening around the dial, but that's it. But with your explanation, you understand the creativity and the craziness of the mechanism behind it. So,
Remy is really he's really special. I mean, he's really in his world, and I mean, he conceives just incredible things. And so that was a kind of a nice, simpler version of the Anytime. And it's absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous.
And on that category, your favorite?
Well, I had a few actually, for different reasons. It was for me kind of a difficult choice. I love the Arnold and Son Luna Magna. I find it really nice.
Well achieved. It's well achieved, but is it a winner?
Yeah, well, but personally, I really like this watch with this huge moon. I find it really, it's really original, and it's a high precision moon, by the way. And the fact that you have this moon, you have this meteorite dial, so I mean, it stays coherent in this kind of space mood, let's say. It's really nice. But then, obviously, we have the Tempus Fugit. Absolutely fantastic piece, considering that this is kind of a one-off, because thanks to a man that had this idea, we could do this, and finding the right people that were able, they had like a blank sheet and they could just play around basically and did what they want and push all the time. And it's just, so the Tempus Fugit, I mean, we've talked about it recently on Watches TV, with them indeed. And for me, I mean, this is more than a timepiece. This is really a philosophical piece, but it has a lot of very clever engineering also inside that I'm sure we're going to see in the future in other watches.
Maybe.
Because the perpetual calendar module that Dominique Renaud has built is just so smart and so...
It's the tiniest one.
It's super tiny, it's evolutive, it's bulletproof. I mean, it has many advantages. So it is indeed a one-off. Again, this watch is more of it's kind of a symbol of, well, what I love about watchmaking for sure. But it's a really fantastic piece. And considering that everything has been done by our friend Julien Texier in his little workshop of La Vallée de Joux, considering the amount of time they had to develop this watch, more or less 2 years, with only 2 people basically. I mean, it's quite remarkable.
But 2 crazy people.
2 crazy people, that's for sure. Very talented. And coming back on the H. Moser, I mean, I just love their perpetual calendar system. It's just pure, straight to the point. You just won't need to know the date, and the date will be always correct, and that's it. I mean, it's
simple as that.
Yeah, it's really nice and well adapted also to the Streamliner model. I mean, we've seen this obviously in different models of H. Moser, but this was a good interpretation. The HYT, nice move. Sarpaneva, we love him also. But yeah, very happy for Crayon. Very well deserved. Okay, now we go in the mechanical exception category prize. So this, should be like a mechanically speaking, really beefed up category, and it is. The only thing in there is maybe we've seen, there's a couple of watches that we've kind of already saw before. Okay, a little bit different interpretation, talking about the Beauvais, the Recital 20, and the Chopard full strike tourbillon, which is, I mean, this full strike, I know I repeat myself sometimes, but this one is really one of the most amazing, well, it's not one of, it's the most amazing chiming watch I've ever heard. Okay. It's just so unbelievable. Yeah, the sound, the purity of the sound that you will have with this minute repeater is just, I mean, absolutely outstanding. It's just, yeah, it's really, really, really quite something. But we stay in the Chopard family, basically, because the winner is Ferdinand Berthoud. Exactly. With the FB2 RSM-1-D-point,
they
whatever.
have to do something with the name.
Yeah, make it a little bit more personal. Or it looks like a really kind of an informatic IT code or something like that. But I understand, because behind it, there's no IT at all. I mean, it's pure manpower, pure the power of the hands, basically. It's just absolutely stunning. And something interesting about Ferdinand Berthoud is that I mean, they've participated 5 times as the GPHG. They won 4 times. Okay, so
it's quite good.
Yeah,
the result is quite good.
Yeah, quite a good ratio. I don't think they expected to win. They were pretty low key about it, and well, I guess they were very happy with this nice little surprise. I found Ulysse Nardin, the Freecast, also quite interesting. I thought it could have a chance, but it didn't. And then we have obviously the Bulgari with the thinnest watch when it came out, because now it's been beaten. But when it came out, it was indeed the thinnest watch, and just pursuing Bulgari's effort in doing crazy timepieces, basically, and getting thin as possible. And since they won last year the Aiguille d'Or, the Golden Hand, it was difficult for them to win twice in a row, of course. But quite a crazy piece.
Quite an impressive
piece, for sure. All right, now we fall in the chronograph section, and this year was quite dense also in this category. Well,
your favorite on this one?
Well, it's the one that won, so it's kind of okay. No, for me, it was going to be between the MDNF Legacy Machine Sequential Evo, which is really a revolutionary approach to the chronograph movement. Absolutely, I mean, we've done a report on it. Clearly invite you to check it out, because this piece is really kind of a game changer in the world of chronographs. And it's going to be interesting to see how it can maybe evolve, how parts of the development can be used maybe a little bit differently. We'll see. And then obviously the Grönefeld brothers, their chrono.
When they came back, they win something.
Yeah. So the winner was the Grönefeld. And the MBNF will come back on this just a bit later. But yeah, the Grönefeld, beautiful timepiece, extremely well executed. The design is
I didn't have the opportunity to hand it.
It's really nice. It's a really, really nice piece. Then considering the other nominees, I mean, the Čapek was an interesting piece also. But we had already kind of more or less seen this one. So very happy for the Grönefeld brothers. Yeah, I mean, GPHG is obviously is a terrain that suits very well the independents for multiple reasons. That the jury likes to acknowledge creativity, inventiveness, and this often you see a little bit more with on the independent scene. But also, I mean, I know we mention this every year, but I mean, the GPHG doesn't reflect the entire ecosystem of brands, because there are a lot of brands that are not participating. That Richemont brands, besides from Van Cleef and Arpels, not participating. There's no Swatch brand. They don't really want to get confronted a little bit with the other players. I mean, we're talking about, this is supposed to be, GPHG is supposed to be kind of the Oscars of the watchmaking industry. And it's as if, you know, the Paramount studio wasn't participating. You know, it's there's a little bit of that with the people that are coming. But I mean, nevertheless, it's a fantastic opportunity to put some spotlight on some of these independent, and it's great for everybody. But nevertheless, I mean, there's still a lot of brands participating, but it could be there could be more for sure. So yes, chronographs. Now we go to the next section.
We're diving into the divers watch.
Absolutely. Now is the divers section, and this one went for Tudor with the Pelagos FXD. Very efficient watch, a good price.
Yeah.
Excellent quality. I like the design. I like.
It's pure, and you see what you have to see. The story behind it is really interesting.
Yeah.
What they've done with French military, the French army, which is very interesting. I would like to deep dive into it later. I would like to also interview the CEO. I would like to know more, in one hand, more about him, and also about the process, the creative process, etc. It could be really interesting to know more about Tudor, because like Rolex, you know, it's sometimes could be closed off.
Now let's talk about the jewelry section, and this one, I would say no big surprise. I expected the Bulgari to win.
Yeah. Maybe for me it would be between when I saw the Piaget or the Van Cleef. It's impressive, and when you try when you deep dive into the Bulgari one, it's also impressive. So, and that's not something I'm wearing or I know more about it.
Yeah.
So, congrats to Bulgari.
Serpenti is a very important collection for them, and it's nice that it can still evolve. Artistic craft, indeed, so kind of a logical next category for us. 6 watches, of course, and well, also not a huge surprise there, but this went to Kari Voutilainen for the GQ timepiece. It's stunning. It's a GMT, world timer, but it's the dial is just absolutely mesmerizing. It's just, to look at from far away, it's already quite impressive. When you look at very up close, it's incredible. So they work with these Japanese artisans that master this kind of mosaic technique, and it's just extraordinary piece. Obviously a one-off, but fantastic piece.
It's Serge Maillard who's done a great article about that watch a few months ago when Kari Voutilainen showed it to the world, and it was very impressive about that techniques that's been used behind it, and when you look at it, you can't say there is 1,000 pieces.
Yeah, but apart from that, the other nice watches. Beauvais, again, fine demonstration of their métier d'art expertise, that's for sure, with the piece that they presented. And personally, I found the dial of the Audemars Piguet really interesting.
It's like,
but compared
it's water
to the
when you drop something.
Yeah. But again, I mean, against Kari, it was difficult to beat. So now we go in the Petite Aiguille. So those are watches that are selling for less than 3,500 Swiss francs. 6 nominees, and very happy that it went to our friends from Trilob.
Exactly.
It is a young brand. We've talked about it a few times on Watches TV. I mean, this brand is only 4 years old. Yeah. They've already got now a GPHG prize with something that looks cool. I mean, this watch in particular looks nice. Most of their watches look really nice. I quite like them.
That's poetry behind it.
And when they have their own identity, and it's still evolving. It's not. We don't have the feeling of seeing always the same thing.
When I receive an email from Trilob saying we have a novelty, I'm always happy to open it because it's always something new. And I was very happy for them when they won the Petite Aiguille, because yes, it's an award for what they are doing for the watchmaking industry. Well,
exactly, and again, in a matter of 4 years' time, I mean, it's really quite, the development is quite successful. I mean, there's not that many brands that, you know,
reach that point.
So there's still a lot to do for them, for sure, but at least the grounds are pretty, well, solid, I would say, to build something upon. So now we go in the challenge category, and the challenge, I said something wrong before. Petite Aiguille is below 10,000 Swiss francs. Excuse me for this. Yeah. And now we go in the challenge category. This is indeed watches below 3,500. And ta-da! The winner is here. It was the Mad edition. So, well, I mean, you guessed it. MB&F won the Supreme prize with the sequential Evo, the Aiguille d'Or. Because it, like I mentioned before, it is really kind of a technical breakthrough, and that was acknowledged by the jury. It's not a watch that is necessarily super easy to understand, but there you could feel that, okay, the jury did their job and really, you know, understood what this watch really meant. So for MB&F to win the super high prize and then to win the challenge prize for the the best of the most affordable watches.
So one's the extreme.
Yeah, the two extremes. I think it's a nice symbol for them. Again, the Mad edition is not branded as an MB&F watch, but I mean, it's more or less, I mean, it's the same team
behind it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, and this is obviously the only watch I can afford out of all these, but still very happy to have this.
You sure?
We'll see. But yeah, no, it's very cool for them. Again, just to repeat what Max said about the Mad one, is a way for them to celebrate and to thank people that have been supporting MB&F, whether it's on the supplier side or even the clients or other people that can't necessarily afford a real MB&F, because I mean those are rather expensive. So this was a way of, you know, being able to get into this environment at a reasonable price point.
It's great to see such a brand taking that step, saying thanks for your support. It's always great. Thank you. We will continue. And the first step is that watch, and maybe they will come back with something else. And it will be maybe not a watch.
We never know with these guys, but we know that we'll be in for some other surprises, that's for sure. But coming back to the category itself, I mean, Tudor was there again with Ranger, and often, like I mentioned, they win in this category, mid-challenge or Petite Aiguille. So it was refreshing to see this Mad edition win there. I personally quite like the Kuro no Tokyo piece. I thought it was quite cool. I like this green dial. Louis Erard, fun, interesting, had something for sure. And I mean, Louis Erard as a whole, I mean, they're doing a pretty good job over the last couple of years, or let's say 18 months, coming up with the interesting collaboration. All right, next category, and this time, for the very first time, there was a mechanical clock category, and it should be expanded a little bit because it's automatons, I would say. And I'm really happy that this category now exists, because, I mean, I love clocks. I think they don't get the proper attention that they would, some of them deserve, because I mean there's also so much passion, so much craftsmanship in some of these pieces, and very different pieces on in terms of nominees this year. And well, it went for one that was just, it's a piece of art. It's just incredible with the Van Cleef & Arpels Fontaine aux Oiseaux automaton. It doesn't really tell the time. It's just more of an automaton, but it's absolutely gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. 5 years of work. Yes, yeah.
Only I don't. They didn't mention the number of people, but they were playing with such a
variety.
Master,
yeah.
In such a discipline, who is Monsieur
François Junot, who actually got the special jury prize for his life achievement, if we can put it like that. He's an incredible man based in Sainte-Croix, also in the Swiss Jura Mountains, and his workshop is just a place that, I mean, you could...
It's a museum.
You could get lost in this one for days and you will still discover things. It's just absolutely fantastic. And so they worked on this piece for years, as you've mentioned. The cinematic of everything is just incredible. It's so poetic. It's beautiful. It's just fantastic. Obviously, this is a one piece and there's a one-off, I mean.
Do you know if they will sell it?
It's apparently for sale if you have between 5 and 10 million.
Yeah.
Well, you see. So you can buy a few of the other things.
I will have to call my banker.
Yeah. But incredible object, and I'm, again, extremely happy that companies, that brands give the opportunity to some of these artisans to be able to express their talent in such a way. Because it's, I mean, there's, in a certain way, almost no rationale behind it. It's just pure emotions, and it's just fantastic. But I loved many of the other pieces. I could have them all, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I could have all of these pieces.
And if you have just to choose one, excepted the Van Cleef & Arpels? Because during the Geneva Watch Days, you told about one of them.
Yeah.
That you liked a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, indeed, the Time Fast by Lépée, I find it really interesting. It's really cool. They really went this extra step compared to the initial car model that they had with this kind of clutch system which lets you still continue to play with the car. But I mean, you see the gap between this Lépée Time Fast and the Van Cleef & Arpels. I mean, we're not talking the same thing. You know, it's just those are two different worlds.
Yeah.
The BCHH, we had done a video on it because it's an Italian clockmaker based just outside of Milan that actually builds this. And I thought it was quite interesting to have a look at how he was set up. And yeah, this piece is really quite impressive. It's big. And you have the map of the sky that is just turning, and all the stars are made with diamonds and things like that. It's quite something. But you need a bit of space for that one. I love the Utinam piece. I mean, the Comtoise. I love the name. There's a little French. I mean, it will only with this one, and yeah, it looked different. It could maybe look like a kid's toy, but it's much more than that. And I would love to have it here. And the Mickey Letta, I mean, obviously a fantastic piece. I mean, just you could look at it also.
You can spend times looking at it.
Yes.
So that's crazy.
So there were some other prizes given outside of those categories. We mentioned indeed the special jury prize. So we mentioned the Aiguille d'Or, the
won by
Oscar
MBNF.
of the Oscar for MBNF, and especially Stephen McDonald, who's the man that really developed this chronograph movement. Again, I invite you to check the video that had been done at the time when Stephen was here. Actually, he was sitting right here, and because I mean, he put a lot of his heart in this development. And again, a
Max
real milestone.
was very emotional when he had to do his pitch.
Yes.
Absolutely, incredibly, extraordinary, happy. We never create for prizes. Prizes are just they arrive, but this cherry is not as big as the cake, but it's a seriously big cherry for all of us. And yeah, it's a great evening. Great evening. I'm not amazed. I'm not amazed that independent brands actually win, because many of us, it's our life to create. It's our life to finish by hand our pieces. It's what watchmaking is. I'm not saying that's not what the others are, but I'm not amazed when an independent wins an Aiguille d'Or, because so many of my colleagues deserve it.
Yeah.
So you can really understand why.
Yeah, and I mean, it's quite obviously. I mean, it's a huge achievement for a small brand. Small brands have already won the Aiguille d'Or in the past, but it's indeed not that often. So Aiguille d'Or for Max Busser, Stephen McDonald, and the entire MBNF team, and we're delighted for them. Then we had the Revelation Prize, and that's where we come back to Sylvain Pinault.
Exactly.
It's his first timepiece made under his name, and I mean, he did something. He set the bar pretty high with that one. Absolutely stunning, elegant, pure,
chic, classic.
Yeah, really.
You can wear it on a daily basis.
Yeah, really, really nice. So very happy for him that he won this prize.
Audacity
Bulgari. To Bulgari, okay.
To Finissimo Ultra Thin.
Yeah.
10th anniversary.
10th anniversary, and like we mentioned, I mean, it's just kind of, in a certain way, celebrating their commitment from year to year to come with something even more crazier. And I don't know where they're going to take it from here, but I mean, probably like we don't even see the watch, but it's there.
And so innovative prize.
Innovative prize, and this time goes to Van Cleef & Arpels with a timepiece that is really, when I saw it at Watches and Wonder, I was just like, oh my God, this is so incredible.
That's the kind of pieces that you want to play with, or only like you want to look at it in a certain way without touching it?
Both. Because it's you could indeed just look at it for a long time, because I mean you have these flowers that are popping out indicating you the time, then you have a minute disc on the side, but it's very poetic, it's very Van Cleef & Arpels for sure, a beautiful piece. So if they didn't win in the ladies complication, now you understand why, because they got something a bit more juiced up for them with this acknowledgement by the jury. So yeah, all in all, a good.
It was very nice. It was very nice. It was very nice to also meet the people.
Yeah.
Because I don't know you, but when I'm coming to the GPHG, I'm not coming for the ceremony. I'm going mainly for the people behind it. It's such an opportunity to see a ton of people.
Yes.
There is the majority of the industry, the people. You can also meet new faces.
Yeah.
Last year it was my first time coming there, and I had the opportunity to meet so many people.
Yeah.
So the Grand Prix brother, I didn't have the opportunity to come to their watch shop in Netherlands, but that time I was able to say hi to them. So that's the way I'm looking for.
Everybody is very. I mean, it's a happy moment. It's a happy moment. And indeed, a lot of socializing, a lot of shaking hands, a lot of smiles here and there. But it's always a pleasure to see the entire family, I guess. Well, more or less the entire family, like I mentioned. Not everybody's there, but nevertheless, it portrays already pretty well the ecosystem that we love so much. So yeah, that's it for our debrief of the 2022 GPHG ceremony. Looking forward already for next year.
Exactly.
There's always going to be a few surprises. But
before the conclusion,
yes, please.
I have to say one thing.
Please.
I have to apologize to the audience because I saw your comments about my pullover, who was call me Mister. So next time for the next video, I will come with another pullover with something written on it.
Okay.
So
it has to be again
different.
Smart and poetic, I guess.
You will see.
We'll see. All right. Great. Well, thanks for watching. See you soon. Obviously, this recap will be also available as a podcast, but I should have said that at the beginning, but that's the way it is. All right. So thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing, commenting, and see you real soon. And until then, you know the drill. Viva watchmaking!